Hi there folks, we're Travel with Johnny and Will, and this is our second video in our Azamara Pursuit series. Today we are docked in the port of Livorno, and this is day 2. So our day started off, we got up at around 8:30, and we headed to the Windows Cafe for our breakfast. Windows Cafe is at the very back of the ship, and we had lovely views of Livorno, and there is a lot on offer at breakfast time.
Yeah, there's an awful lot on offer. Just from stuff I've listed here, we have our breakfast cereals. There was a selection of fish, your fruit, yogurts, pastries. There's a little pancake station this morning. Obviously a full cooked selection. And then, obviously, an Italian selection as well.
Yeah, so because obviously we're docked and we're still in Italy, today is all about sort of like a celebration of the region we're in, or the country we're in. So today there was an Italian selection of cooked breakfast options on the menu. I had my bircher muesli. I always love bircher muesli. Never have it at home, but anytime I'm cruising, I always have bircher muesli for breakfast. And then I had a bit of a cooked breakfast, so I did. It was really nice. I also had some corned beef hash on my plate, which was really tasty.
I just had some Cheerios, which are quite American, aren't they? I feel like we haven't really got that in any other cruise line. And then I had an omelette made up, which I think was called the Farmer's Special. So there's like jack cheese in it. There was bacon and peppers. It was really nice.
Yeah, which is surprising because Will isn't one for eating
any type of eggs,
or any types of eggs, or a cooked breakfast in the morning. But I also had a bit of toast actually, and I remember now when I had my cup of tea, I also had a little mini donut that they had in the pastry selection. So breakfast was really yummy.
Yeah, it was good.
So after breakfast, then we just come back to freshen up and get our bag and that ready to head ashore. Today we are docked in Livorno. So most people are away to Florence and Pisa, but we've been to Pisa before, so today we're just going to have a look around the local area of Livorno. So come along with us.
So this is our third time docked in Livorno, and because this is quite a small ship, it seems to be docked very close. So when we left the ship, the city is really close to us here, which is great compared to the other times where we always had to get some sort of shuttle to get us out of the more industrial side of the port. And then we went on a walk. I had researched Livorno and I wanted to visit the Fortezza Nova, which is a fort, and then it's surrounded by these canals. But unfortunately, when we found it, it definitely wasn't what I expected. There was renovation works going on, and basically only a very, very small part of it was actually open. So it was very disappointing.
Yeah, it is free to visit. You can leave like an offering, but as Will said, the place was sort of closed half of it.
And it was full of cats.
Yeah, it was really just a bar and a like a field.
It was the oddest place.
Yeah. So maybe next time, whenever we're here, if it's open, we'll definitely pay it a visit. After that, basically, we then wanted to see a bit more of the city, so we decided to jump on one of the city sightseeing buses. This is located sort of next to the Tourist Information Office. Now, the bus stop itself is basically called the Cruise Shuttle Bus Stop. I'm guessing maybe some cruise ships run a shuttle service, and that's where it leaves you off in town. But it's not too far to walk, really, from where we were docked. So it was priced at €16 each. And there's 8 stops, and it's hop on, hop off. But if you don't get off at any of the stops, you can literally ride the circuit within 60 minutes.
We got on at 12 noon, but there was one at 11. I think there was one at 1 and 2. So it seemed like every hour.
Every hour, yeah. Which was really handy. And like I say, we literally rocked up at 5 to 12, so we couldn't have got any better. So we then got onto the bus, and we didn't get off until we stopped at stop number 4. And then basically we were given a free ticket by the bus driver to ride the funicular, which then basically takes you up a height, basically to visit the sanctuary of Montenero. The funicular railway started in 1908, and it was the first electric one in Italy, and from around 2000, the first running on solar panel. It passes a difference in height of more than 111 metres, with a maximum slopes of 18% on a track of 656 metres. On the hill overlooking the sea, with an amazing view, the sanctuary is a religious and pilgrimage centre, with one of the most important votive offerings gallery in Italy.
The views from up here were amazing, and it was really bright and clear for us, and you could see quite far into the distance. There was even like mountains and stuff, and you could see the entire coast, and it was just really beautiful.
Yeah, the sanctuary itself was closed at the time we had visited. However, it was just sort of nice. We sat outside in sort of the square area, and it was quite peaceful because there wasn't actually that many of us got off at that stop.
Very quiet.
Yeah, it was quiet and peaceful. So we spent about an hour of our time just really getting up to the top, having a look around the sanctuary, and then coming back down again. We stopped off at this little coffee shop just to get a soft drink and use the bathroom. And so it was quite handy that the cafe was opened. After that, the bus picked us up an hour later. We just hopped back on and we rode the rest of the circuit then, and then we got off again at where we began.
At the cruise stop.
The cruise shuttle stop.
So then we made our way back to the ship. It was a very short walk, and at this stage we were feeling quite hungry, so we wanted to go up to Windows Cafe, which is the buffet restaurant, but unfortunately it was closing at 2:30. And it was like already 2:25. So we thought, oh no, what are we going to do? And then we ended up going to the Patio. So the Patio is Azamara's version of the poolside grill. But it's not like any poolside grill we've ever been to. It's all table service, and there's a menu on the table, and everything is served to you.
Yeah, certainly whenever we walked out into it, we saw that the tables were set with your cutlery and your linen napkins and wine glasses.
Yeah, wine glasses.
It certainly set a different tone from any other cruise line that we've cruised with before.
So it was very easy for us to get a table. It wasn't even that busy, and service was really swift. To start, we had the nachos. So on the nachos, there was the beef. There was obviously your salsa, your sour cream, and your cheese.
There was a few quite hot jalapenos thrown
Oh,
in
there was as well, yeah.
They were really hot. But it was really nice.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So after the nachos, we had the Azamara burger. And without sounding cheesy, it was as amazing.
It was definitely one of the best poolside grill burgers we've ever had.
Yeah. There was basically cheese on it. There was bacon. There was fried onions, fried mushrooms, lettuce, tomato. Oh my goodness. I've got a big gob or a big mouth, and I could hardly fit the thing in my mouth.
Yeah, and the burger itself was just really, really nice. I'm not normally a fan of like a chunkier burger.
Yeah.
But this one was cooked to perfection.
Normally Will likes a real cheap ass burger that you get somewhere, which is like 2% meat, but this was really good.
Oh, it was really lovely.
We didn't leave a pick.
No. So after the burger, I decided to go over to a little place right beside the Patio called Swirling Top. And today they had vanilla frozen yogurt, and I think they had strawberry frozen yogurt. So I just had a little tub of that. And then they have a selection of little toppings, and they actually had like little jelly bears, which was quite unusual, but it was quite fun. And then they also had boba, like the little balls you get in those boba drinks, which is quite unusual, but yeah, really fun. And it was really delicious.
Yeah, I was stuffed after the burger. I couldn't face anything more deep, but Will always finds room for something else. So then afterwards, we just came back to our cabin. It was a lovely afternoon outside, so we just chilled in the afternoon for an hour or so. I sat out in the balcony for a while and sort of just watched the world go by, really, in the port. And then it was time to get ready for our evening. So as we explained before, because we were docked in Italy, Azamara really talk about having this immersive experience in the culture in the local area. So tonight, they used to have a thing called an As Amazing Night, where, as Captain explained earlier, they normally would take you off the ship to a venue and maybe like to some sort of a show or whatever. But it's slightly different, he says, now on the shorter cruises, where they have this destination celebration night, and they bring the local act on board the ship instead.
So as part of this, there was a special group that came on board, and they performed within the cabaret lounge at the front of the ship on deck 5. This was a 4-piece group called the Encanto Quartet, and they were all operatic singers, and they sang a mixture of Italian songs.
With a bit of ABBA thrown in.
With a bit of ABBA, yeah.
And Adele. And Adele.
It was really enjoyable, and they were super, super talented. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really was a good show to watch, and something different. Again, it's not something that we've experienced before with the other cruises we've been on. So this was really fun to attend and to get involved with something different for a change.
So after the show, we made our way up to deck 9 to the Windows Cafe, and tonight for dinner it was an Italian menu.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this was a real miss for us.
We do like Italian food, okay.
And they did have those Italian, like, mainstream items like pizza and lasagna.
Yeah.
But both of them, in my opinion, were not great at all. So the problem with the pizza was that instead of it being like a stone-baked, fresh dough, it was definitely like the frozen pizza bases you get with toppings just thrown on top.
It certainly seemed like a frozen kind of pizza with toppings thrown on it.
Because the base was very tough, you know.
I think, and as well, they had been sitting. There was about 6 or 7 different pizzas on offer, but they were sitting there for a long time.
Yeah,
literally drying the life out of it.
Plus, nobody actually seemed to be eating the pizza.
Yeah,
it was probably making it worse.
Yeah, so the pizza was not great.
No.
Then, we both saw this great looking lasagna. Now, there was loads of stuff to pick from. There was meatballs, there was a pasta station, there was like eggplant, there was like a chicken dish that I tasted a little bit of.
And there was a vegetarian lasagna.
Yeah.
And there was a beef lasagna. So obviously we want the beef lasagna, so I went to it. And then when I got it back to my table, I was like searching for the beef.
Yeah.
And I'd found out that it was actually the vegetarian lasagna, but with the wrong sign on it. So then when I went back, they changed it to vegetarian lasagna, and then when I went back again, it was just gone.
Yeah,
so I don't know what happened with the normal.
Yeah,
what happened with the normal lasagna?
Yeah, and actually at this point I was up having a look to see what I wanted. So of course I saw the beef lasagna. I was like, oh, that looks really nice. I'll have some too. I sat down. Will was like, I can't find any beef in the lasagna.
No.
So then I looked in mine, and I was like, yeah, this is all vegetables. Not that there's anything wrong with the vegetarian lasagna, but it's not what we wanted.
No, and it sort of gave a little bit of concern to the labelling and how well that was done, because there's like nearly 8 different dishes within like a little station, and the labels, you know, they do need to be keeping those more up to date and more keeping an eye on them, because for allergens and that sort of thing.
So that was strike 2. Strike 3 came then because I obviously didn't want the lasagna. I decided to go up to the pasta station. So the chef was busy. He had sort of 2 kind of like large wok kind of pans, and he was sort of cooking dishes. And then there was me and another guest that were standing, and I placed my order. Then the other lady placed her order. He then proceeded to cook her order first, and then asked me again what I wanted, and I was like, oh, I wanted the penne pasta and a tomato sauce. He's like, right, okay. So then he says, oh, would you like tomato, peppers, and onion? I was like, tomato and peppers, please, no onion. So he threw everything in, then he was like, oh, no onion. And I was like, yes, no onion. So then he had to like throw that out and then go to start again. But meanwhile, he was then cooking somebody else's. And I sort of thought, no, the notion's sort of off me now. I don't really want this.
But you were waiting a lot. You were up standing there for about 10 minutes.
So then I thought, stuff it, I'll have some of the pizza. And like I say, it wasn't great. It was poor. So we were sitting in eating the pizza. And about 10 minutes later, the chef comes over with this bowl of spaghetti in a tomato sauce. Dear knows what was in it. And I just looked at him going, no, I don't want that anymore. And I says, I asked for penne pasta. Yeah. That's not penne pasta.
You've changed your mind.
I've changed my mind. It took too long. And he was very apologetic. And I was like, look, it's fine, but I just don't want it. But I think he sort of expected me that I still wanted to eat it. Mm-hmm. But again, that sort of worries us because realistically, all I told him that I wanted at that point was tomato and peppers. There was clearly other stuff in with that pasta, which he was going to serve to me. And I could have been allergic to it or whatever was in it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
So in terms of that, like, that's the same place where they do the omelette station in the morning, but they have the chefs in the back and they have someone taking your order at the front. And they didn't do that. It was you were communicating directly with the chef. Yeah. But if they would have had another member of staff on, that could have been a lot better. And
there's loads of staff walking about. Mm-hmm. You know, there's literally staff falling over each other, and it was just really annoying. And I hate really gurning, and it really annoys me to complain about it. But I just was really annoyed because we literally went for a meal and it was disaster. It was really disappointing.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Don't know whether we'll be back to the Windows Cafe for our evening meal. Certainly after tonight, unfortunately. But like I say, something very simple would have fixed it, you know. But anyway, on with the rest of our evening. After we had our terrible meal, we then just decided, look, let's go for coffee. So we headed down to Deck 5?
Deck 5 to
Deck 5.
Mosaic Cafe.
Mosaic Cafe. And we just sat there. It was really quiet, really chilled. We had a cup of coffee each.
No, I had a hot chocolate.
Oh, you had a hot chocolate, yes. I had a cappuccino, and then you got a selection of little chocolates.
Little chocolates, yeah, they were tasty, yeah.
Yeah. And then, basically, we just decided to come back to our cabin. We have an early start tomorrow as we go to visit Pisa. So we have an early start. So we just thought we'd come back to the cabin and chill. So that has been our day 2 on Azamara Pursuit. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And please also click subscribe. It really helps us to grow the channel. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon to be alerted the next time we post a new video.
Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.